Hi there, Bethany, Londyn here. I'm so sorry I haven't been on for the past few days. I've been exhausted, but I feel fine. Okay, we have made it to day 42 of Calling in the One. 7 weeks to attract the love of our life. And yeah, I'm really excited. And this lesson today could not be more perfect, especially based on the conversation I was having with my girlfriend yesterday around one of the guys I've been dating, going on dates. Actually, I don't even know what to say about that. But anyway, communication is key. And I'm sorry, my voice has been gone since last Wednesday. I don't know why. I don't know why my voice is gone. It's horrible. Hi, San Diego. That's pretty close. You're pretty close. Hi, Katrina, and everybody else that's joining if I don't recognize you. But if this is your first time, we've been going over, we've made it to 42. So we have 49 lessons total in this book. I'm in LA. 49 lessons. We've made it to 42. 7 days left. Oh my gosh. And this all started as my journey to find the love of my life, call in my one, and then I was challenged to take it another level, share it on Periscope, and here we are. I know, it's almost over. I'm like, what should I do next? Should I do another book? Should I keep this going? I think I do have another book to read. But anyway, my good friend Lewis House has a book that he just released, and it's top 3. It was top 3 on the New York bestseller. He's such a hustler. And he's solid. We've done a lot of our training together, so he's really awesome. But anyways, we are working on Calling in the One for now, calling in the love of our life. I've been going on all sorts of dates, as you know, or don't know. Now you do. And you're coming to LA. Okay, do it. Your brother and sister are here. Or sister-in-law, I guess, right? So yeah, good stuff. So I'm going to dive into the lesson today, which is all about speaking up, which is so something I get to do sometimes, and communication. So how she starts off is, first off with this quote, ask and it shall be given to you. Do you know where that comes from? That comes from the Bible, somewhere in the Bible. She says, there is no possibility of true relatedness when we are inauthentic in our speaking. Communication skills are never the goal. How we give and receive information is simply our vehicle for getting to our goals. So, she starts off with a story about Sarah. She's this high-powered executive in the entertainment business. She was about 40 when she met her husband and got married to Peter. And, you know, the first few months were amazing. Standard, right? Honeymoon phase. And then he lost his job 6 months into their marriage. So, because Sarah was such a high success in her position, he basically started riding on her coattails instead of immediately looking for a job himself. And he's like enjoying his time off. And Sarah had been raised with this motto from her mother, be sweet, be pretty, be smart. No, just wait for it. Just wait for it. That's not true about Sarah. So she'd been raised with the aspect of be sweet, be pretty, be smart. So she started getting really upset and inside because her husband was just dilly-dallying around and wasn't being inspired or motivated to do anything other than hang out at home. But she didn't ever tell him. She wasn't sharing with him that she was uber frustrated. And after a year of this, she almost was about to, she was basically planning to get divorced. So here's the thing, is Sarah ended up going and seeing Catherine Woodward Thomas, the author of this book, and she found Catherine to be the safe place. Hi in Italy, I'm in LA. So Sarah goes and sees Catherine, And Catherine is her safe space for actually being honest and authentic about what she's feeling, her truths, right? So she tells Catherine how she's contemplating a divorce and how upset she is, how unhappy she is about everything, and how her husband at this point is always talking about how awesome it is to have found this low maintenance woman, when really he has no idea what's going on. Because she's not sharing, she's not communicating with him. So instead of becoming the good wife, Sarah, like her mother has encouraged her to be sweet, be kind, be smart, be pretty, she has become the should wife, who is judging her husband, losing respect for him. But the problem is she hasn't offered him any possibility of doing anything differently. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. Her inauthenticity of being honest with her communication, you guys, this goes into work, this goes into any sort of relationship. When we hold back our truths, what happens? We get bottled up, we get frustrated, angry, we create stories of stress and anxiety that ends up playing out in our bodies. It's not good. We must own our truth. We must share what we feel. So, Catherine obviously shares this with Sarah and says, look, Sarah, you haven't even created your marriage yet, because the marriage is about the union. It doesn't just automatically exist. It's about the union. The relationship must have communication, intimacy, all sorts of stuff. And what she says is, you have to build this union. All you have right now is a commitment to create a union because you are withholding so much of yourself from your husband that you are failing to fulfill the union. So this, when we've talked about responsibility in previous relationship or in previous lessons, is huge right there. Because Catherine is putting all responsibility on Sarah for creating the demise of a relationship. And Sarah gets to own it. And in that space, she started to see it. So, Sarah decided to start sharing her feelings with her husband before he was an ex, which was really uncomfortable for her, and it is for many. And he was very responsive. He was very attentive. Then don't watch if you aren't interested. There are people that are watching this that love it. Peter immediately took on some part-time work as a consultant while he more aggressively pursued his search for a full-time position. In doing that, Sarah is immediately like, oh my God, I have this amazing man. He cares about my feelings. He cares about my concerns, you know? And he's a man. He's being a man. Men want to provide. That is how, that's in their genes. It's in their genes. So if they aren't in the space of being motivated or any of that to provide, then there is concerns. There are concerns because it is just, it's a man's truth. It's a man's truth. I'm sorry, you can be judgmental if you want, but that's just the truth. And men are hunters and gatherers. So, when we speak our truth, we are standing in the very center of personal power. Saying no when you mean no, asking directly for what it is that you want without regard for what others might think of you, asserting an opinion that you suspect others might agree with, or having the freedom to admit that you don't know something when you don't, are all actions that cause us to be more authentic and fully who we are. Many of us struggle with addictions to food, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, because our truths are denied in our own household when we were growing up. We had to numb out our knowingness somehow. So it's about healing, first noticing, first noticing that there's something within ourselves and these fears. It's fear. At the end of the day, it's all a fear. So the healing and recovery for all these addictive behaviors includes learning to cultivate a discipline of telling the truth, honoring our truth, first to ourselves, and then sharing it with others. Everything we aspire to in life, whether it be success, fulfillment, a loving relationship, depends on our ability to assert ourselves by asking directly for what we want and setting clear limits with others. It seems simple enough, but for many of us, it's not. And I totally agree with this. I was talking about this guy that I'm dating to my girlfriend, and one of the things that I'm feeling, you know, I'm like, I don't think it's going to work because I feel this, da 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 da. And I'm sharing this with her, and she's like, hello, have you even told him that that's how you feel? And I'm like, oh, light bulb, ding, ding, ding. No, no, I haven't. I haven't even thought about sharing that with him. So this is so powerful. I'm like, how perfect was it that she said that last night, and then here we are reading this. So yeah, we get to share our fears and know that there may be disagreement, but you know what? It is more damaging to not honor our truth. Light bulb. It is more damaging to not share our opinions. It is more damaging for me to walk away from what could be an amazing relationship because I don't feel that he's creating the space for XYZ versus actually sharing it with him and creating an opportunity for communication and intimacy. Hello, hello. Am I being scared? Apparently I am. Actually, it's more that I hadn't even thought about sharing it. So that's like a little aha moment for myself. Hello, thanks for joining. So Sarah could have easily gotten to the point where she threw away a potentially loving marriage to a good man who absolutely adores her purely because she wasn't sharing her truth. Like I potentially could be doing with this person that I've been on a few dates with, right? So until we risk telling the truth, we cannot have an authentic experience of love. We can have entanglements, we can be involved, we can be married, but we will not have the experience of love. For even if you were really loved by another person, how would you know if you didn't allow yourself to have the raw, naked truth and risk the consequences of all of it? Because stepping outside the box is where the magic happens, right, people? The gift of authentic communication is a gift that we give ourselves. Hi, Turkey. Hello, hello. So, often, instead of asking for what we want, we'll stay stuck in a complaint, like what I was doing last night. So when we're complaining, we are in a state of resistance to what's so. And anytime we are resisting the current reality, we are limited in our ability to creatively solve the problem that we're faced with. I see this all the time with my startup that I'm working on. Because I put so much stress and stuff on my shoulders, the weight of the world on my shoulders about my startup, it limits my creativity sometimes. And I totally say this. I know that. I know that already. I experienced that. So in honoring our truth, in stepping into the fear of the unknown versus a fantasy of what a relationship could be, then, yeah, I do. I actually have a massage gift certificate I get to go use. But, yeah, it's about stepping outside of the magic of what this fantasy is into reality, owning ourselves, owning our truth, because why waste our life? Why waste our time at work or with friends if we can't even be raw and honest about what we feel? Now, of course, presentation of how we deliver something is a whole nother chapter, I'm sure. And if it's not, I'm just saying that right now because obviously being direct with somebody can also create issues. And we don't want to create issues. It's about how we do it. So it's not about coming out and being fully direct, but like, hey, you know, I'd love to discuss something with you. When would be a great time to sit down and have a discussion? And if it's at a point where it's creating so much stress in your life that you don't even know if it can come from a loving place, it's important to shift into that first. So it's important to even maybe go to a park, going to a neutral space, maybe outside of your home, not in your car, because you don't want that energy there. If there's something that you really need to share, and finding a neutral space, and then finding a place in your heart to come from compassion and love before going into this honesty that you get to share, of owning your truth. Owning your truth. It's so important. So important. All right. So when we allow fear to dictate the quality of our communication, we will often engage in passive-aggressive behavior. We'll do things like come late to a party that we don't really want to attend, burn a meal that we didn't even want to cook in the first place, rather than simply asking for what we want. We'll often use fear, obligation, or guilt to manipulate others into giving it to us anyway. Whenever we don't get our way, we'll do things like withhold our love as a form of punishment, or remind the other person just how many times we've sacrificed ourselves for them. I mean, I totally have caught myself in this before. I've totally done the passive-aggressive thing. But I love that I'm surrounded by people that will share with me, hello, Bethany. Like, what do you really want to say right now? You know? I love surrounding myself with that because sometimes I don't even catch it. It's like an automatic thing. Okay, so the bottom line between making a clear, direct request instead of a manipulative demand is simply masquerading as a request is that you genuinely have the space for someone to say no, no. And that requires a fundamental trust in the goodness of your life, a knowing that you will be okay if that person is unwilling or unable to give you what you want. There is a great freedom in this unattachment. And once you've mastered this, then you're at liberty to ask anyone for anything at any time. You guys get that? So, once you can ask for stuff, ask for support, be clear in what you really feel inside with unattachment of what the response is, which way it might be, then you are creating intimate conversations. You're being clear. You're coming from a neutral space. And another thought would be to step into this communication from a space where you have attempted, hopefully successful, 34, to look at their point of view, look at their perspective, put yourself in their shoes.
Okay.
So what she says is, when I was learning on how to identify and express the feelings I was having, I spent a lot of time journaling and reading, trying to sort through many of the emotions, sensations, and responses that she had had for so many years, remaining unnamed within herself. She had to own feelings and thoughts that were contrary to her own image of herself as a nice person, because there's no way around it. You really can't be interested in looking good all the time if you really want to know the experience of love and being loved. A word of caution: keep in mind that the goal of communication is communion. Communion. Speak your truth, but make sure that it's coming from a place of compassion and love, and that hopefully you've looked at their perspective as well. Remember, when we're listening and speaking in this place of service of creating love and harmonious relationships, that we have learned that through the suffering of hurting other people, that before we speak our minds, we would do well to ask ourselves if what we're trying to create is harmonious. And it is, right? We want to create harmony for ourselves and for the union. So, as always, there's homework. There's homework. The homework is journaling. Good questions here. Don't censor yourself, just write. So the questions are, what upsets have I been holding inside myself, and who am I upset with? Atlantic Records. Hello. So, are you holding these truths inside and then creating all this frustration, and you're thinking you're mad at so-and-so, but really you're upset with yourself? So what is this costing you in your life by not owning your truths and communicating clearly? What could you share with this person instead of coming from a frustrated place but coming from a loving place? What appreciation have you been holding as well? And who from? And what is that costing you? What could you tell this person instead? What complaints have you been making lately? Does it have anything to do with someone around you, or does it have to do with yourself? And finding that love within yourself to be compassionate with yourself. And what ways are you manipulating a situation rather than asking directly for what you want? This happens all the time. So what requests could you make instead? Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I might start blushing. So we're talking about communication and speaking our truths, owning it, and as always, there's bonus homework. So the bonus homework is that you step outside your box today and assert your true feelings to someone that you've been withholding from. Hi, boss. Step outside of your box and share this truth with somebody. But remember to come from a loving, compassionate place. And it could be in the workspace. It could be with your partner, because we're trying to call in the one, people. And look at transforming this complaint that you have into a request. And letting go of a manipulative attempt. So, I have done a lot of life coaching. Yes. All about creating reality out of dreams, out of our dreams. But I'm working on a startup. That's my big, big passion right now. And then I'm doing this because it's fun. Fun. Going deep. So you guys, one of the practices in communication, this is not from the book, is called clearing. So when you have a frustration, you go to somebody, you take ownership of the situation, how you've created the situation. Like, I've created this frustration with our marriage because I haven't told you how I really feel, and I apologize for that. I just want to own it. And then, how much should I charge? It's a sliding scale. It's a monthly thing. So tweet me on Instagram or something. Or not Instagram. Tweet me on Instagram. That doesn't even go together. Tweet me on Twitter. Tweet me on Twitter. Instagram. Anyway. So in communication, so you take ownership of the situation, right? With your partner or your work person or whoever, friend. And then you clear, you share what you've created, your frustration. You can go to my website, londonheightsaswell.com, and email me from there. Because I don't usually rewatch this. Maybe I should. But that's extra work. So, londonheights.com with a Y, Londyn, Heights, you can reach me. But in this clearing conversation, you take ownership. You talk about where you've created this frustration between the two. And then you make a request. Because people want to be in action. People, if they care about you, they want to be in support. And you're supporting yourself by creating a request. And then you're clear, right? You're clear. You're creating effortless communication. Now, we're not looking to do a defensive thing where this person gets defensive. Because we're creating ownership. So, thank you. Thank you. I can't wait for your email. So yeah, so that's what we're all about, people. Communication, being clear, owning our truths, not holding back, because when we hold back, all it does is create anxiety, stress, disease. A lot of people have disease or cancer even because they had abuse in their childhood and they weren't able to clear it. They didn't have the tools to get rid of it. So it's very important. It's very important to own your truth and be unattached. Okay, so tomorrow, lesson 43, oh my gosh, we're almost done, is the enchanted life. I wonder what that's going to be about. The enchanted life. Love it. So that's tomorrow. Feel free to share this scope with your people, your community, if you think this will benefit them. And yeah, good stuff. But own your truth today. Don't hold it back. Don't hold back. Share your truth. And I will jump on. I think I'm going to jump on later and share what I'm grateful for. But I'm not going to do it now because that's a whole different thing. But it's about being in a state of gratitude and abundance with our life and sharing that with other people, because when we do, we're creating a higher vibration and we're just raising the energy, and I'm all about it. So there you have it. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate that this benefits some of you. Some of you guys just, I think I'm funny. I don't know. But yeah, good stuff. And I want you guys to have an amazing, beautiful day, and look forward to talking with you later. Spread the love. Spread the love. Bye.